Hi, welcome to another episode of Fox's Little Nuggets. It's where we take the news of the day and vigorously shake it until we can hear the sound of loose screws. And there's enough loose screws for those in Westminster, of course. Because Westminster is once again behaving like a retirement home for failed ideas. Except with worse catering and more people called special advisor. Andy Burnham has thought about having an exit tax, which is a great idea because it just gives a time span for everyone with money to get out of the country. They've got their end date, must be gone by whatever that date is. Burnham is reportedly considering this exit tax on people who want to leave Britain and take their money with them so that they don't pay tax to the British government anymore. That's a sure sign of a dynamic pro-growth economy, isn't it? It's like put the toll booth at Heathrow Airport. But the idea is apparently to untax unrealised capital on wealthy people when they emigrate, which is clever because if you tax people on money they haven't actually made, you can raise revenue from imaginary wealth. And actually that's what you'll be getting, imaginary money. It won't be real and you won't get any. First, it was the madness of just general taxation being raised indefinitely, thinking they're going to raise the tax take, and then discovering it doesn't work like that. And now finally the Treasury has discovered basically fan fiction. It's the fiscal equivalent of looking at somebody's house on Rightmove and sending them a bill because it might be worth more one day. Supporters say it would stop the super rich fleeing the country. It goes to show that supporters are as stupid as we think they are. Supporters, don't realise that it will encourage the super rich to flee the country. Excuse me. Albeit slightly earlier. Along with entrepreneurs, investors, company founders, anyone with enough common sense to own a suitcase would be gone. Why have I got hiccups? Anyway. Britain's new growth strategy, though, appears to be build your business here, create jobs here, pay taxes here, and then when you succeed, we'll fit you with a financial ankle tag so you can't take it with you. Now, Rachel Reeves, she says she has more to do as Chancellor. Many people think she's done enough, because that's a phrase which, frankly, should, trigger an emergency alert on every phone in the country. Reeves says she's proud of her record on inflation, growth, wages, and borrowing. Well, we all have to find joy somehow, I suppose. She says she's restored the stability to the economy. Well, it was her who made it unstable, so it seems only fair that she does correct her own homework, isn't it? But there it is. It's not moving, of course. That makes it ultimately very stable. The economy's not doing anything, is it? It's sitting there festering. She also hinted that there will be more reforms coming at the budget. Reforms to business rates, fiscal devolution, new taxes on low-value imports. Yeah, so again, making things that people buy more expensive, which more or less affects poor people more than rich people. Rich people go, you don't care. Poor people go, oh, I can't afford it now. Yeah, it's not a budget, it's like a punishment beating for being poor, isn't it? Someone somewhere has opened the junk drawer of economic ideas, pulled out all the rejected ones, mixed them around a bit, and then pretended that they're all new. They were put in that drawer in the first place because they were bad then. They're even worse now, of course. James Purnell, we'll talk about him. The new Labour Revenant is apparently being lined up as the Chief of Staff for Andy Burnham when he forms his new government. Yep, New Labour is back, and isn't it a sight to be seen? Of course, Burnham himself was New Labour, and he knew Purnell back in the day. But apart from the lobbying, of course, there was the who I issue, the number 10 issues, the phrase that's being bandied around like, it's almost like cancer, isn't it? Long-standing friend of Peter Mandelson. I mean, that's up there with, alcoholic, drink driver, child molester. I mean, that's where he is. But you can almost smell 1997 from here, can't you? Things will only get better. Back when we had two Jags punching people. Oh, well. Starmer himself, of course, he's been busy. He's gone back on TikTok. Woohoo. I tell you what. people can't wait to watch this one. He's done one of his little TikTok disappearances because he goes on, does a TikTok, everyone slags it off. He goes, "Oh, don't like me," and he goes off, but he can't help himself. So he goes back on in the hope that he's, well, now I've resigned, people will like me better. Nope, that didn't happen at all. I mean, he's had more vanishing acts than a magician, hasn't he? Every time his premiership hits trouble, Starmer seems to retreat from social media, which is why I think he wants to ban it, because he's not very good at it. But basically his account had gone dormant. I think he might have had the message from TikTok saying, "Your account has not been used for so long that we're going to suspend it." Oh dear, I better go off and do something. So if he goes and does something, God almighty. I mean, we really need, I think ultimately what would improve Britain is if he was dragged into the witness protection programme and taken off somewhere and we never saw him again. But the comment section, was unforgiving. It really was. But there we go. He wants to go. We've got to go when the voters are. Well, the trouble is, the people who use TikTok are under 16 years of age, and you're stopping them from using it. And the other trouble is, even if they are still using it and they look at you, they're thinking, what a wanker. I mean, it's the surefire way of turning the young off the Labour Party, isn't it? But there we go. Now, we do have an and finally, and I think this is a cracking and finally. I was writing the script for this, and I thought, that's the story. That's the story. Because the King, if you may not know this, it's about Buckingham Palace. Now, the King has said that the royal family will no longer be living in Buckingham Palace. And even the Queen didn't like it. Nobody actually liked living there. They called it the office, basically. I think the King lives in Clarence House, doesn't he? So down the road in the Mall. But it's cold, it's big, it's drafty. It was built in the 1800s or late 1700s, early 1800s. And it's totally useless for today's world. And they don't like it. So Britain's going to have one of the most famous empty houses in the world. They'll still use it. I mean, they'll still go to the office for things like, royal weddings or big things. And they'll stand on the balcony, wave a tentacle, watch the 7 red arrows fly over, and things like that. And they'll still do the old tipping the sword and making people knights and things there. But they're not going to live there. And so, you've got this big, huge property. Think of the development cost. You could knock that place down. You could bung up loads of flats and things. You could cure London's housing problem almost overnight on that site, couldn't you? But, of course, Andy Burnham is sort of eyeing this up. He's got a vast taxpayer-funded London property sitting there empty. Here he comes, the King of the North, self-styled admittedly. He comes south, he enters Downing Street, and then he looks up the road and there's Buck Powell, empty. Surely the answer is obvious, isn't it? Why squeeze Andy and all his family and all his friends and everything into a tiny little flat of number 10? Move him straight into Buckingham Palace. He can arrive in London, stand on the balcony, wave to the crowd like some messiah, announce himself as Andy I, King of the North, defender of devolution, lord of the tram network, protector of Greater Manchester's Oyster card equivalent, and Grand Vizier of all he perceives. He could rebrand the whole place, couldn't he? Buckingham Palace becomes Burnhaming Palace before burning it down. The changing of the guard becomes the changing of the regional funding formula. The Royal Mews becomes the Northern Powerhouse Bus Depot. And every day at noon, instead of guards in bearskin hats, you can have a brass band play, a Northern Pit brass band, playing Things Can Only Get Better. And Ed Miliband can be running around installing heat pumps all around the outside of it. There is, of course, one tiny constitutional problem for him. If Burnham is already King of the North and moves into the Buckingham Palace, does that make him King of the South too? And what will Charles and Camilla think of that? It's a dangerous precedent. 2 kings. Oh well, these things are sent to try us. But I mean, the great thing is, Buckingham Palace has plenty of rooms. So he can spend ages getting lost in one. And of course he can just go up the Thames to the Tower, which is where he needs to end anyway, isn't he? On Traitor's Gate. After the appropriate sound. Yeah, heads on spikes. That's what I like to see. We need to bring that back. That'd bring the tourists in, wouldn't it? Let me know your thoughts. Thanks very much. You've been wonderful and I've been me. Bye.